But to see him try to move this pig that probably weighs
Pumbaa
about 40 pounds more than him.
Yo, don't disrespect me. Okay, I'm sitting right here.
Is
maybe 10.
Is hilarious. I actually just thought about something.
What's up?
Were you the one who posted the Jalen Ramsey story about your girlfriend?
First of all, she wasn't my girlfriend. All right, she wasn't my girlfriend.
I just thought about that.
Yes.
Yeah, just seeing him do that just made me like, wait a minute, were you the guy?
Yes, I was. Yes, sadly, I was the guy. All right, Jalen, when the Jaguars were here, for those who don't know, man, it was like 2017 around that era, man. Listen, they were swooping and just taking the young baddies out of the city, okay? It was bad, all right? People like myself, just regular hard-working men, all right? We did nothing to deserve this. But, listen,
that
who's richer than me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a hit, man.
You know what, though? It kind of actually... That's not where I wanted to go with the show, but, but that's a great intro into something that Miles posted on his Facebook about, you know, a man is supposed to pay all the bills and do all these things, and then the lady is saving, but what happened to death do us part? Why is it saving? That's a kind of paraphrasing, and I put, that's not man law 101, that's simp logic. So what I'm saying is what you've learned right now, guys. If you haven't learned, in today's Twitter age, social media age, it's been true since the beginning of time, since cavemen. Good guys don't finish first. Every woman says they want a good guy, but nobody really wants a good guy. What they want is a good-ish guy. So, like, I'm not telling
talk about it. You preaching. You preaching right now. Go ahead.
Actually, I was discussing this with my mother. Like, so I'll use me as an example.
All right, go ahead. Of course, you're gonna put yourself up. You're goodish.
I'm goodish. But here's why. I am from the hood, not the rap hood, like the real hood. Like, so, like 2 pairs of shoes. One of them's talking. Nothing like what my sons grow up right now with, and nothing like how I am. Like, I have shirts that nobody else can wear, whereas most. But your parents probably made the choice. My mother had the fiscal. That also college educated. And get all in a hood guy that could defend her, but you could take me home to your parents. I could have the perception of Russell. You have a stupid talent where you have a ton of money, you're going to always get the shit end of the stick. As women talk about how much they hate Future, but Future is like on 15 different baby mamas. So, like, obviously,
you're being chose.
So yes, so that's the thing is, like, just think about this. You, baby mama 15, walked into that situation and saw 14 other women make the same dumbass choice. Yeah. And they made it. And it doesn't matter how good. And I'm not Kevin Samuels. I'm not any of this stuff. This is more men's empowerment in Women's History Month. But the reality is...
Empowerment in Women's History Month.
The reality of the situation is, if you're too nice, you're going to get ran over. And I've learned this as a family man. When I was an asshole, everything that I wanted. When I started giving people everything that they wanted, I got ran over. But it's just funny. We got to tell more of these stories behind the scenes, but that's a completely different show. I still think it's hilarious. Again, I don't care what they tell you. I don't care what's even in the Bible. The assholes win. Like David. Yes. So there's only one person in the Bible. So this is biblical.
All right.
There's only one person in the Bible who was considered to be a man after God's own heart. Who? Not Jesus.
Who?
It was David. You know what David had? What? He had 5 wives. He had 3 wives and 5 concubines.
He was a man.
He was a player. He was in the entire book of fiction. Whatever, my bad. If you believe it, whatever. He's the only person in that book that's described as a man after God's own heart. And he had 3 wives and 5 concubines. And you know what his son did?
What?
His son says, you know what? He is the wisest man in history, Solomon. And you know what he had?
What?
He had thousands of wives. So, like, the thing is this. Ask you. The only way you can purport this, the only way you can do that is to be an asshole.
Yeah, did David send someone to the front line so he could take his wife?
David was chilling on his balcony.
That's green.
Looking over. No, I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
I don't know where this world is where women just take baths outside, but like, so David's vibing, right? He walks out, sees Bathsheba. I think that was her name.
Yeah.
He's like, damn, she thick, dog. She built like Meg Thee Stallion. And he doesn't go run game because he's rich. Rich men don't need to run game. Rich men can get people to run what we used to call interference. My friend Jamila, growing up, was the best point guard in the nation. She led the league in assists for me with women. So he went and got Jamila to go get Bathsheba. Jamila went and got Bathsheba and said, hey, Bathsheba, come up here. And you know what Bathsheba said? No, what she didn't say, you know what, man, my husband out here defending the world, fighting for our country, US of A, putting boots in Philistines' ass. She said, you know what? Nah, I'm going to give the goodies to Jalen.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. Excuse me, David. I'm going to give the goodies to David, right? And so David is so disrespectful that he doesn't even think to pull out. Okay. David shoots her club up, and instead of taking responsibility, David brings Buddy back. And he was a soldier. He was a good soldier. Brings Buddy back and says, you know what, dog? Hey, man, you've been doing a good job. Sleep with your wife. Try to get him to shoot the club up so that he... Again, don't knock me. Don't get you Christians. Don't get mad at me. This is in your book.
Bible study with James.
This is in the book right here. I'm not making up anything. This is exactly what happened.
All right, we're on the Bible. I have a question for you real quick. You were talking about good men and all. Goodish men, all right?
Yeah, goodish. I'm not telling you to be bad.
I think the whole story of Jesus' conception is insane.
Oh, I'm gonna get to that too. I'll give you my opinions on that too.
All right,
Joseph is the simp. Simping is biblical, and you never win.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So Joseph was a simp.
So Joseph's the original simp. OG simp. We're gonna call it OG simpleton. Okay, we're gonna get into sports in a second, but this is church.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna start. The Monday show we're going to do, I'm going to start off just like this. The church service that I went to the other day, actually, I didn't go. My boy OJ sent me this CD, and he was like, yo, James, you got to get back in the word a little bit more, man.
You got a city.
So he sent me the CD. Well, yeah, because this is an old church.
You didn't go to
this is a true black church. Well, two or more gathered, and my 3-year-old was in the My 3-year-old was in the back seat.
I'm not letting you get that.
My 3-year-old was in the back seat. So I put it in there, and like the guy was like, head is good all the time. And I was like, all the time. And I just said, head is good.
Yeah, I mean.
And I was just like.
I think they might have said God. And
that's true.
You heard.
But head is good, though. Head is good all the time and all the time.
I don't know about that.
Head is good. And then he was like,
sometimes
I don't know where you are in your Christian or spiritual walk, but I just need y'all to know that there are some hoes in this house.
This is the wildest.
There are some hoes. There are some whores in this house. And he was probably right. But anyways, going back to David. David shoots the club up. David brings the old boy back. Tries to get him. He's a simp. Such a good guy that he's like, man, my soldiers out there fighting. I don't deserve to get no ass right now. I need to be chilling. He sleeps on the front porch. The house he pays for, which I think is the dumbest thing in the world. Like, I have arguments all the time. But the last thing I'm comfortable in the house that I pay the bills for.
Fair.
I'm going to be comfortable in my house. But anyway, he sleeps on the front porch, not knowing his wife then got her back blowed out by David, who's a straight up goon, fucked up Saul and his whole crew, got God behind him. Like, it's like, it's so unfair. But anyways, goes in and then says, all right, man, Buddy won't sleep with his wife. So he does the next logical thing. I got to get Buddy murked. So he sends him to the hardest battle in the front line, and Buddy out there real, like, simping give you power, man. He out there murking cats, killing cats for David and God, who's blowing his wife's back out.
I gotta get home to my wife.
Trying to get back to this hoe.
He's trying to live to get back to her.
So,
she out there,
whatever. Now she over there giving the goods. And then my man dies. And then God doesn't come in. God in the Old Testament was dope. He out here smiting people for, like, not listening to donkeys and shit. But he letting David fuck whoever. In fact, what was wild is this. Samuel, right? Yeah, because again, people think that people who are agnostic or atheists or whatever don't know the book. The problem is a lot of people know the book better than you know the book. And that's why they don't believe. Because the stuff doesn't, as a historian, that was my major in college, when stuff doesn't add up, I start subtracting and dividing. I'm not going to ever knock you for your belief. Sometimes you need that. Like when I went through mat drills and some of the stuff I went through in football, like I found God in mat drills. Black Jesus, Asian Jesus, Jesus. I believe in a higher power because something got me through that. But when you read this book, it's some shit that just doesn't add up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
God over there killing people for dumb shit like stepping on a crack and breaking your mama's back. But then David's out here literally committing sin. Like you guys are over here bashing homosexuality, and God says there's no sin, no two sins are different. They're all the same. The Bible is full of women getting murked. Actually, it's full of homosexuality too, but we ain't gonna get into that. My point, all right. So now Jesus is a descendant of David. So hoeing and simping is in the blood. So now Mary comes out this bitch. Joseph, the OG simp, is, because I don't know Bathsheba's husband, so I can't give him the OG simp name. But Joseph is out this thing working hard, finds a woman who has not, that he doesn't know biblically, he ain't touched yet, right? He going around, all right, man, it's getting close to that time, baby. Woo, I'm about to get some of this. I'm gonna clap. I'm gonna make a clap. Mary goes up one day, comes back downstairs. Yo, I'm pregnant. And Joe like, with who? And then she, like, again, because women do this stuff. She doesn't even give him a great lie. Like, just imagine this. If somebody told you this. You ain't had sex with this chick. She says she's waiting to marriage. She comes up to you and says, all of a sudden, I'm pregnant. And you say, well, who is that? Gabriel, the angel Gabriel. God had 2 angels come up here run a train on me, and now I'm pregnant.
How is that?
And it comes back down and tells you that shit, and you're supposed to just accept it.
Yeah.
Like, just think, forget that. Don't matter. We're reading it in a book in red letters. Right? So you have made it up. You know, faith is, as I used to have a friend who's a really good pastor. Again, I believe him, and he believes what he is. Adrian Crawford played basketball for Florida State. He used to say, it takes an idiot to have faith, but it takes a special type of idiot to have idiot faith. And I don't care what anybody says, that's idiot faith. If you come to me pregnant, and I know I ain't had my thing wet before, I ain't never even smelled it, and you're pregnant all of a sudden, and then you just put it on God, there's no other situation or circumstance where that's going to fly. It doesn't make any sense. And the fact that Joseph got to go begrudgingly and deal with this shit, now I'm going to take it a step further. Because I don't... Again,
this is very educational.
I'm not saying that it didn't happen, right? I'm not saying that Mary didn't get pregnant.
Okay.
I just question if it was the angel Gabriel or one of them cats. That's all I'm saying. Because you pregnant, baby comes, 3 dudes, 3 housewares roll up on me, bringing you gifts that I can't afford to give you.
Nah, you gotta murk them. Let the chopper say it.
We see this on Facebook and IG and Twitter all the time.
Dude, you never even met before.
And then later, we see this on Maury Povich. You couldn't take care of her, so she went and got the dude that gave her the frankincense, the myrrh, and the incense, or whatever the other stuff
Dudes you never even met before. They just pulled up with
roll up on you, and you ain't even in the same city. You're not even in the same city that you had.
Here.
They found her.
They followed a star all the way. I know you gave them some.
Hey, listen, man. Every man's been through it. Sometimes you get some Mary. You know, Mary had that good walk. She was looking delicious and shit.
Oh my God.
And you ready to get it, but she got tools and a skill set that she didn't develop from you, but she didn't develop from God. It's, you know, whatever. Like, at the end of the day, man, like I said, that ain't got nothing to do with sports. But what I'm saying is that if guys, listen, man, Goodish guys win.
And Joseph was a simp.
Simps don't.
Yeah.
There's no winning in simping. And the people who are the biggest simps that are, for ladies, this is free game for you. If he's around here, if he's willing to bash men, he ain't shit.
Yeah.
Whatever your strongest thing that you say you are, that's your biggest battle. Look at these preachers. Like, and I'm gonna tell you guys, if you over here battling, all you do is talk bad about homosexuals, you know what I automatically believe? I think you're gay. Nothing wrong with it. You just fighting something. Because to me, I don't care. I have a simple political philosophy. I don't care who you're fucking, as long as you don't fuck me. Period. That's how I apply life. I don't want that. So don't come to me. Don't screw me over. Do whatever you need to do. But speaking of being screwed over, Jags. Let's talk about that real quick. Jags are free agency.
All right.
I am probably like. There's a lot of media that's very happy about the action. I'm not upset. I do think we got better. I say we, meaning the Jags, since I covered them more than other teams. I think they got better, but like we went from 32 to 30. Like,
you think so?
So one of the beautiful things about being in this so long, you develop friendships, you talk to different people. So I got some different people around the league that I've discussed, and I just asked them their overall opinions. So, and then I got some game given to me. Christian Kirk at one point before recently, for Devontae Adams and probably Tyreek Hill, was the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Short period of time, but because of free agency, and that's how it should work. You get paid based upon your potential. Christian Kirk is still a relatively young wide receiver. He has 5 more catches in the last 2 years than Laviska Shenault, who Jaguar fans bash. And rightfully so. He fumbles, he doesn't catch the ball. But with all those flaws, he has 5 more catches than Laviska Shenault, who is already on here.
Yeah.
Laviska's great value. He's just name brand. That's it.
I would think I think that's different because Devontae Adams is over there. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins went over there.
But he also has a better quarterback, better offensive system. Who the hell been throwing Laviska the ball?
Minshew.
They go right, and I like Gardner. I know that's the guy. Like Gardner got bad person. I want to have drinks with Gardner, but let's not talk like he got an all-pro. He's got an all-pro quarterback, and he had Trevor back there. Trevor's seeing ghosts right now. He's got his ass whooped all last year.
Yeah.
So let's go back and let's go to the next step. Actually, if anything, I would say he should have more because you got a guy that everybody respects at D-Hop. So now you go and you bring Zaytoven in. The dude who looks like he's I'm going to call him Bollywood.
Yo,
Zay Jones is Bollywood.
I hated that hair. I was so pissed off.
Off real. I did not like the signing anyway. Off real, when I saw the picture, I said, man, we losing every day.
Yo, this man, his hair looks like he tried to do the Russell Wilson, but it didn't lay out right.
So we talked about this on SportsDen, and we had a very good, because again, the beautiful thing about me and Denny is that we don't mind talking about things that other people are afraid to talk about. I don't know what it's like to be white. I didn't grow up white. I don't know anything about being white. But I know a lot about being black. Denny didn't grow up being black. So we talked about black men and their hair. One of the most, I don't even feel like the same person. I'm not going to cut my hair, but I like my beard taped up. If you see me on the news, my beard is clean, crispy. When I go without having to be on the news and my beard ain't cleaned up, my whole self-esteem is ruined. The difference between James with his beard taped up and James without it is 2 different people. I can't even wear a suit and feel fly. I can't wear expensive shoes and feel fly if my beard is messed up.
Really?
I might as well wear dirty shoes. I look at Zay Jones, who's a young man, and I look at his head, and I know he doesn't love his mother. Because moms would tell you, like, you can't be. My mom gets on my sons about that. This boy's head is all kinds of messed up. But then I looked at his stats, and the Jaguars tried to put this.
Oh my God, that tweet!
I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night.
That tweet.
They put 1,800 yards, like, and then people are like, "Oh man, he was balling. He's balling." That's his career. His career, bro. DJ Chark. So we're using 2 years. This man's been playing for like 5 years. DJ Chark had more yards than him in 2 seasons. He's also the guy who was running. The reason why he wasn't in Buffalo because he went crazy and was running around butt-ass naked in the hotel room and tried to jump out a window. Ain't nothing more Jags than that.
What?
See, these are the things that you got. See, people just see these signings and be like, all right, it's anything but. Again, we talked about simping. That's a simp attitude. Like, everything is better than what you already have. And I agree. There are better things than what we have. And we need pieces. But when you're looking at the history, how did you get better? Why is the media sitting here trying to spin this shit when it's okay to just, guys, it's okay to question shit. Like, you don't have to bash it. I've just got questions. And when you ain't got the answers to the questions, that means, yo, something's bad here. You didn't address the running back position. I like James Robinson. James Robinson tore his ACL, though. You got, damn, I can't even think of my boy's name. Travis Etienne. He has a Liz Frank injury. Anybody knows about the Liz Frank injury, one of the things that you lose is explosiveness. And that's what Travis Etienne is supposed to be. Same thing with your Achilles. These are things that you can recover from, but it typically takes you year 2. So we're not really going to see what these guys are really about next year. You address the offensive line. The only thing I've ever seen Cam Robinson do tough was come at Mia O'Brien, who's 4'11", 98 pounds. That's the toughest thing that he's done. Like, his blocking is just okay, but you didn't address that. And when you go and you make him the highest paid left tackle, basically what's going to happen, and he doesn't even want to sign the tenure, that means the most terrifying thing in the world is what I'm about to face. And because I'm only one good thing. They didn't re-sign Taylor. Congratulations. I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
You can't hear it. I can hear it, but they're clapping.
The problem is you're probably going to sign Aiden Hutchinson. You're probably going to draft Aiden Hutchinson, which is nothing more than, again, Taven is great value, brand flakes. This is just brand flakes.
Yeah, and less tan.
It's still, I don't like brand. Nobody goes with money and says, you know what? I'm going to just buy me some brand flakes. Like, you get the good-ass cereal. It's not Cinnamon Toast Crunch. He's not even, like, the cool stuff. Like, because I didn't get name brand cereal until I got to college and I started paying for it on my own. But at least the Walmart brand stuff is delicious. You got the worst type. And then now this guy's going to go, and it's just a little bit better than Taven. I'm not going to say he's as bad as Taven, but it's just a little bit better than Taven.
It seems weird because the narrative changed so much that you see all the posts about how much money we spent, and it seems like people have stopped hating Balky. Is that...
Right. So then going into why people stop hating Balky. Multiple things could be true. Urban Meyer is the worst coach in Jaguars history.
Yeah.
He's awful.
That was terrible.
If you listen to the SportsDen, we have always been real. I told people that there's 2 things that I get the reason why I like Urban Meyer as a hire, there's 2 things that are going to happen. It's either going to make them better, and now I get to cover the Jags and they're fun again like they were in 17, or what I think is going to happen is he's going to suck, and I get to talk shit about Urban Meyer. I win either way. I didn't know he was going to be this big.
Yeah, implode.
But I will say this. It's kind of like the Tom Coughlin thing. What happened? I just told people that the old school mentality and method doesn't work with these young guys on a professional level. You can't talk to these young guys any kind of way until you've earned that. And that was TC's problem. I think TC, it was good the first year. He should have pulled back a little bit the next couple of years. But TC was the scapegoat, so everybody was happy when he was gone. Urban was so bad that, like, they're writing think pieces on The Athletic, which I am now with conservative white males. I'm with you now. I hate The Athletic.
This is a big leap.
Know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hate The Athletic too.
Oh, okay.
Because they call it a liberal bullshit. Like, that article, the think piece that was written on Urban Meyer is bullshit. Like, yeah, he was bad, but come on, like, one of the things where he said, like, hey, you got to watch those players from down south because, their transcripts ain't right.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
I have heard way worse than that in my entire... Like, I tell my sons worse than that.
Yeah.
I go and tell a bunch of kids, like, I joke with when I train private school kids. Because if you don't know, I got a lot of letters behind my name. I used to be a really, really good trainer. Don't let this fool you. At one point, I was a really elite athlete. But I just did it to my kids the other day. Bowls is $25,000 a year to go to or something like that. And I asked them when they do something stupid, I say, this is why my kid won't go to private school. Because y'all paying all this money and still just as dumb as the public school kid. I can at least save the money and do what I want to do. Or I ask, hey, okay, what school is this? What county? All right, cool. I'm going to make sure I never bring my son to this school. So it's a coaching thing, context and how it was said. A kicker that don't make kicks deserves to get kicked. So I don't even, I didn't believe that story from whatever the fucking kickers, Lambeau. Anyway, yeah. Some of the, now.
What do you think about them, like DJ Chark being the main quote guy apparently given all the information.
You know, that's what people are saying, and if that is good, I don't care, man. Like, my problem with it is this: we all grown men, and I seen it with my alma mater with Florida State, and I still have an issue with it. I have an issue with how Jimbo left. I don't have an issue with Jimbo as the coach, but Jimbo, the Iron Fist, and nobody talks shit about Jimbo when he was there, but me. Now, when Jimbo left, now all y'all vocal.
Yeah.
Now all y'all got something to say. That's a coward move, and I can't follow or respect that. The only person who was talking shit about Urban while he was here was me. And T-Wig, my bad. I'm not going to throw my dog T-Wig on the bus, and I get it. Like, but keep the energy that you had. If you wasn't questioning shit when he was here, stop questioning it now.
Yeah.
You only question it because there was a dent in the armor. I was with 1010. If you didn't, like, obviously people know, motherfuckers bumped one of the most popular shows for the fucking Urban Meyer rebroadcast. I don't want to hear shit about you saying Urban Meyer was the devil now. You literally you sold your soul for the devil. You gave him the booty. You gave him the booty for the devil. So, like, don't talk about him now.
That's wild.
You should have been talking about him then, as we were going through with it. It's easy to talk about a man when he ain't there to defend himself.
Yeah.
You had every right to do that. Now, DJ didn't need to be, and you don't have to do it in a disrespectful, colorful manner. I gotta tell people this: if it's a bad play, it's a bad fucking play. The problem is you can say it's a bad play, then guys are going to defend the coach and say, well, it's the players. And so it was the players week 4. But now in the offseason that he's not here, now it's the coaches. You had every right and every opportunity to say that week 4.
Yeah.
But you didn't. I talked about the offseason last year with free agency. Why the fuck are we saving money? You don't get rollover minutes. Like, it doesn't like, oh, you saved $50 million. We're going to add $50 million to the rest. No, it doesn't work like that. The NFL stands for not for long. You have to be pushing things forward. And now if people want to say, defend Balky now and say, like, all right, Urban was making more of the decisions. Urban was making a lot of these different things. Fine. It's still not great. It's still just okay. Now, we have a draft to worry about, but there are some things that me and Dan, we talked about Urban talking about the scouts, firing scouts and saying they're lazy. We talked about it on the SportsDen while he was here. None of this stuff that was revealed in The Athletic is new. That's my point. All of this was commonplace knowledge. If you are truly a reputable source, if you really have connections in that building, if you're really talking to these people, you know. But here's what we were getting. And this is why I say the word culture is bullshit. The culture is changing. What? Because they're doing effort drills?
He's a grown man.
Yeah.
Again, go back. Don't listen to me. Don't believe me. We got everything canonized. Go look at the SoundCloud. Go look at the Apple Podcast. I was clowning that shit when he was practicing and when they were playing. Because it doesn't make sense. And I only can talk to you from, and that's the problem I have with guys, except for this. I love Pivot and I love I Am Athlete. Because for the first time, we are seeing athletes who have played this game start being transparent and talking about sports and the themes that go behind sports in a manner in which is conducive, that helps explain the culture. You got a bunch of other athletes that are trying to fit in. I hate it when the Jaguar players were getting in trouble and people were bashing guys like Leonard Fournette and all these things. And I got guys who I know the stories. I heard your stories. I heard about vending machines getting thrown through windows. I heard about the drunken nights and the parties. And you guys got the nerve to go talk about guys getting speeding tickets. Talking about you shouldn't talk back. Like, come on, dog. Like, we have former athletes, we have an obligation to tell the truth from our side. Because it's a bunch of pencil necks that are going to tell us what they think that they need to know. And a lot of stuff is not understood. You give a bunch of urban kids 6 or 7 figures, bad shit is going to happen without teaching them how to earn that shit.
Yeah.
Like, not earn that shit, excuse me, without teaching them how to conduct themselves. It happens because it actually, I shouldn't even say urban kids. The 24 to 28 years old.
Yeah.
Because it's black, we hear frat boys our boys will be boys when frat boys do it. But when this happens, like like I always tell people, they act like they're 24 to 28 years old. That's what they're acting like. And so even with DJ Chark, right?
Yeah.
DJ Chark is acting like a 24-year-old should act. That's spited.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I expect that. He's not old. He's not old at all. He just finished his first contract. Okay. So, like, he's got to be within a certain range. That wasn't good. So, but what I don't expect, so, like, I expect a DJ Chark to go to a club and try to teach a girl how to give snaps in the middle of a damn club. Yeah. What I don't expect is a damn near 60-year-old, a dude that's my mom's age, still making foolish ass mistakes. But I'm also a man. We just talked about the Bible. So he just, like, you know, it's, I was going to say, also, it's sports. Like, sports is like people treat it. Sports is a microcosm of society, guys. Whatever you're doing at your job, we're just doing it better. Yeah. Because we have more resources and more access. For real. Like, where you got nothing but, I'm sorry, I don't mean this. The guys are too. Ladies or gentlemen, listening to this. Where you got D+, or a bunch of ugly, cross-sided people at your job, like you work at Waffle House, like the quote is, if there's pretty people at Waffle House, don't eat. The best Waffle Houses got ugly people everywhere, missing a few teeth. But like, if you got pretty people at your Waffle House, then, you know, all right, I get it. Or you got ugly people, like you work at Waffle House and ugly, I get it. Just think about all the dramas that y'all have there, people sleeping with other people and, you know, all things. Wow. You're just able to do this with better talent around you. That's the only difference. And so I go to this as a guy who, you get better talent around you, you have more money, you have more resources. So that means whatever you choose, you get best. And you probably get access, or people are willing to do things for you that they aren't. Mm-hmm. So that brings us to the hottest quarterback on the market right now, Deshaun Watson. Mm. The Cleveland Browns, and just the quarterback market in general. Okay. Deshaun Watson is now going to basically got reparations from Cleveland, and shout out for reparations. Like, just shout out for that. Shout out for reparations. And the great David McGillicuddy, or however the fuck you say your name, awesome brother, I love you. Like, gave him this contract, and it's ingenious. Yeah, I think it was so, like even if $230 million. Yeah, but it's 250, isn't it? Let's just say 230, whatever. We get fine. When the NFL suspends him, they're gonna have to suspend him right away. You know what he's getting the first year? It's fully guaranteed. So the first year is only $1 million that he gets. So the suspension isn't even going to touch him. So basically, let's say he loses $1 million this year. He has the rest of it guaranteed. Yeah. Listen, man, whoever works his contracts, right? They working. I saw this guy make this think piece, and I hate think pieces. Go ahead. Think pieces the problem with think pieces is most of them are stupid, and it doesn't have a lot of thinking involved in it. And this guy was just like trying to say why he knows that the women are telling the truth, and they may be. Now, one thing that my sister has told me, and I've heard numerous lawyers say, you can indict a ham sandwich. Meaning that when you take something to the grand jury, it is very difficult to not get the grand jury to, like, at least go forward with criminal proceedings. Right. So all these women didn't get that, because if you go look at the very public deposition that Deshaun Watson gave that they gave for the civil side, which I posted on my Twitter page, they basically read the riot act. These women said that they were abused, right? These women are talking to him after this stuff happened. They've got text messages with family members talking about how great a guy he was and how they can't wait to work with him again. Like, it's just stuff that just doesn't add up. Wow. We had the attorney of one of the ladies who accused him they're like, the reason why she's not going to go criminal because he didn't do anything criminal. She's like, now it may have been uncouth, but like she said, the minute that you agreed to let somebody be naked, which if you get massages, you typically are either naked or in your drawers. You say you don't have to have it. Like you literally have to say, they have to ask you. Like as a guy who's gotten multiple massages before, I joke, I get a massage every Tuesday, and you guys do the same lame ass joke. But first it was the Bob Kraft shit. Now it's the Deshaun Watson. But like every time I go, and I have the same massage therapist now because I found one that I actually like. In the process of finding one that I like, you know what I did? I changed massage therapists. Now, did I have as many as Deshaun Watson? No. Do I make Deshaun Watson's type of money? No. Again, access to the massage facility? No. Am I active? Am I a single, young, African-American male with money that likes women? Now, I am some of those things, but I'm not all of those things. And the thing is, he did what I would have done at 24 years old, too. I don't know if it's 24. I don't know how old he is.
And I will say on the Deshaun Watson thing, I respect him so much more because he purposely took a white man's job. He avoided going to Philly and Chicago so those two young black QBs could have their opportunity.
Now, this is the other reason why I'm pro him. But I don't like Baker. I have never liked Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I'm damn near Colin Cowherd when it comes to Baker Mayfield.
I think it's funny he requested a trade. They were like, nah, sit tight, buddy.
So when Baker was going through all of this stuff, I'm like, what the fuck? Who wants you? When is the last time somebody said, Besides Cleveland Brown fans who hated OBJ, who we saw what happened. OBJ is like I'm saying what made us famous on 1010 is what I call OBJ a fairy. Yeah. I love OBJ.
Jesus Christ. What?
Yeah, that was the thing.
That's wild. That's wild.
Listen, man, I don't care.
That's wild.
What I care about is when I draft you in fantasy football, are you going to give me 15 points? I don't care who you're splitting into or who's splitting you into. It's none of my business. But congratulations on the baby. But whatever. But I felt like I was watching a Tyler Perry Tyler Perry female get liberated in the videos. Now my man went to LA and flourished. Lived his best life until he tore his ACL. They made him seem like he was the problem in Cleveland. Immediately leaves, and all of a sudden, they're like, oh, he's going to LA and he's not going to fit in. He's great now. Don't get me Cooper Kupp's still that cat.
Yeah.
But OBJ was going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But Baker just, I just hope Baker had, they got Jarvis Landry, that guy in Miami. OBJ.
Njoku.
Yeah, the dude from buddy from Black Panther that you just said.
M'Baku.
Yeah,
M'Baku. Okay.
They got M'Baku. They got another tight end. They went and got, I can't think of his name, but he was at Kareem Hunt from Kansas City, who was balling. And then they had Duke Johnson. I'm going to get to Duke Johnson in a second. And they got somebody else. But anyways, and
Nick Chubb.
They brought all this damn talent around him. And he just started flourishing. Like, anybody, that's a Madden team. You shouldn't. And then when they posted his first 4 years are the exact same as Jameis Winston's first 4 years. Yeah. And everybody talks about how bad Jameis Winston was. But Jameis Winston did not have former Pro Bowler in Jarvis Landry, former Pro Bowler in OBJ, three good running backs, one that could be considered a slot if people were smart, and then two tight ends, one of them being in Black Panther.
And Jameis Winston was still airing the ball out, getting tutties. Mike Evans was still having those crazy seasons.
And dropping the ball and doing all kinds of shit. But what I'm saying is, they literally made you, Baker, and you couldn't have success. You don't get to talk. Duke Johnson is like complaining, talks about this. And you know what Baker comes out and says?
What?
Get on the train or get off. So Baker says that. That's one reason why I have no sympathy. OBJ comes on there. This man does the damn, writes a damn letter talking about, I'm only going to be worried about the guys who are here who wants to win. Now all of a sudden, the bell comes to your ass, uncool Johnny Manziel. That's all you are.
Yeah.
At least Johnny Manziel was relatable.
At least he had a sign. You can do this. You can do this.
Shit, and then, you know why nobody's going to get you? They can get you in the second round of this draft. And Sam Howell, who's probably a little bit better.
Yeah. And I hope they take away his commercials. I'm sick of them damn commercials.
Tired of that shit. Just gets on my nerves. I don't really like him. But other things, speaking of Jameis, shout out to Jameis for signing for basically a 1 year.
Clap it up.
Yeah. He's still getting underpaid. Still upset about this agent that keeps making my dog. I get it, Jameis. You want to play. You're doing, again, why don't conservative white males like Jameis? Have no idea, because he's doing everything that you ask athletes to do.
Yeah.
He's just playing. He's just getting contracts done. And he's not getting the value. But it is a 1 year deal, because if he balls out next year, comes back from the ACL, there's no way he's playing for $14 million the next year. And I just, I'm saying those things more in jest, not like relax. But I think Jameis, congratulations to them.
I would have said Baker wrote last thing about him, but he did request a trade. He wanted to go to the Colts. He wanted to go to the Colts. I would have loved that as a Jaguars fan. I would have accepted that and welcomed it.
I would have much rather that than Matty Ice.
Yeah, now they have Matt Ryan. I'm like, all right, God dang it.
I mean, so again, Matty Ice is in Indy. You've got the worst quarterback decision, and I think the black guy is trying to force the guys who created the Rooney Rule to see how good they are. Because Mitch Trubisky is the worst quarterback last decade. He's an ass. And I have no idea why people continue to give him these chances. But now he is going to be the starting quarterback.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's where he's at. Mitch Trubisky.
I didn't know he went to Pittsburgh.
He went to Pittsburgh.
Wait, so now they got Mitch Trubisky. They got to play Lamar, Joe Burrow. They got to play.
Just think about right now, everybody in your division got better. And you tried to get better and got worse.
Wait, so Mitch over Ben last year? I don't know.
No, what I'm saying is, no. What I mean is, he ain't better than Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
He ain't better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And he sure as hell ain't better than Joe Cool. You literally went, everybody else is down. You went backwards in comparison to them. Again, it's kind of like what I said with the Jags. Did the Jags get better in free agency? Yes. Are they competing? Do you have any faith right now that the Jags are going to win their division? No. If they win 7 games, which the problem is, because people will see if they win 7 games, they'll say, see, James, you were doing all that bitching, that's progress. Mm-hmm. No. The league is built on being mediocre. Meaning it's so much parity that you should wake up and win 7 games, 6 or 7 games. It's hard to be as bad. You got to really try and be good at being bad in the NFL to be as bad as the Jaguars have been.
For me, I think I count coaching as free agency. I think we got better because we have a real head coach.
Really good coach.
I count that as winning free agency. We got Doug Peterson, who was one of the best coaches on the market.
I think Doug Peterson's amazing.
Him. Now, the players, you made a strong point. I was getting fooled by the Jaguars' Twitter. I didn't know that post was...
I'm sorry, man. There are things... My boy, one of my arguments now in life, and I'm at Palm Beach Post on Twitter, he brought this up, and it was something, it was one of the dopest things, and it kills a lot of arguments. I'm not arguing with emotions. What tangible things can we say makes this receiver better? What do we have that's tangible? We have stats. We have things like that. We have games they play. You have a lot of these stuff. Is when I say Christian Kirk comes in, and he's supposed to be your number 1 wide receiver, which has been a problem with the Jags. But your number 1 wide receiver in the last 2 years has 5 more catches than a guy who's only been in the league 2 more years. Tangibly, I'm looking at these, and he had a better quarterback play over those 2 years. All these other things, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, so again, did we get better? I believe so. It's definitely in the coaching standpoint. Definitely got better from there. But again, the league...
We drafted a receiver this year. I mean,
But the problem is, what wide receiver right now that would you pick at number 1, first off?
That's the one.
Honestly, I would pick Olave.
But no, what I'm saying is, I'm not picking any wide receiver with the number 1 overall pick.
I understand.
So you're in a position where you're in a situation where, congratulations, you're in the worst draft that we've had in the last 10 years to have a number 1 overall pick. So, and you went and you signed Cam Robinson. So, where you could get better, and what we talked about the last time we did a show is, with the number 1 pick, if I draft somebody that I believe is a 10-year starter, I got it. I did the most that I could do. But you're not going to get Evan Neal after you just did this with Cam Robinson, and you're working on a long-term deal with Cam Robinson. I like Icky from North Carolina State. You're not going to go get those 2 guys. God, I pray they don't get Hutchinson from Michigan. Where it's looking like they'll go, but it's like the only other thing you can do is really try to hype up Malik Willis from Liberty, because he's the guy that everybody's kind of liking at quarterback right now.
Black quarterbacks.
But what do you do? And then in the 3rd round, in the 2nd round, you can pray that well, I can't think of his name. We posted the video of him at the bench press. I really like the wide receiver from Georgia.
George Pickens.
He's a baller on the
That's why I was
field.
hoping we get him at 33, maybe.
He's a baller on the field, but I like guys who are just here for football. Like, yeah, you get mad at Urban Meyer all you want. Hell, I literally said that boy is here for football. That boy ain't here to be no role scholar.
To be friends.
Yeah, like I don't. Learning ain't what he do.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean that. Like, fine, go look at my Look at my transcripts. You'll see a C student.
Listen,
it doesn't mean you're not smart. It means
I'm lower than that.
Like, listen, your job isn't to come in and teach history. Your job is to beat cover 2 and man coverage consistently. Can you do that? I don't. You people like care too much about shit that doesn't matter. Like, I don't even care if you're a good citizen. What I care about is, can you win football games? We can overcome a lot of this other shit.
Yeah, for real.
But
I do think this year, I think we're not going to be last in our division this year. I think we'll be second. I think we'll be second. Way
to be optimistic.
I think we'll be second.
But
I'm just happy the Steelers got Trubisky. That's amazing.
Just like it doesn't even sound good.
I know.
Yeah. Some breaking news real quick. In the NFL, Tyreek Hill just went to the Miami Dolphins for 5 draft picks.
Ooh.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill and Miami
I'll say this. The Dolphins with Slim Shady right now, and their head coach. They got better. They got the best left tackle. They got Tyreek Hill.
You talking about Logic? What's the coach name?
I mean, the one who's the black coach.
He looks like Logic.
The black
coach. Slim Shady.
God, no, we haven't talked about that either, man. Holy shit! Like, I mean, okay, guys, I'm with you. Like, hey, identify as you want to, but like, I don't get to identify as a middle class white gentleman,
bro. Yeah.
Like, for him to say he's come on,
I was
dog.
upset. I was furious.
Like, come on, like at least even a grandmaster in the KKK call bullshit on that. Like, anybody can look at him and say that player is a Caucasian gentleman.
Wizard,
It's
KKK.
If you gotta go look at it, the Cat Williams. I don't know what the name of the movie is, but his baby mama brings in the baby and says, "Here are your sons." He said, "Whose white baby is this?"
Goddamn white baby is
this? Like that. Now this one may be mine.
Yeah.
But this one right here is from the Caucasus Mountains.
Listen, the more that we do this, I want to play that sound. Next time we come here, I'm going to have
from the mountains of Caucasus.
That's hilarious.
Matter of fact, you're right. I apologize to your mother. I should be setting a better example for my son. And I'm sorry, Mr. White Gentleman. Like,
man, with these babies.
Bro.
Nah, I just
he's
can't.
Black. My name Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white. Okay,
right?
There's no way in heck.
Like shit, man.
The whitest baby I ever
seen. All right, so that's all that stuff, and I apologize. Basically, we talked about Goodfellas, but this whole show is brought to you by ABC Fine Wine Experience. Go to thehumidor.com. Go to thehumidor.com. That's the only place that is acceptable to buy cigars that isn't Goodfellas. So come to Goodfellas, enjoy your cigar. Go to thehumidor.com or ABC Fine Wine Spirits. Type in SportsDen at checkout for 20% off. But that moves us into 8 o'clock. And there's a lot of other topics, but this was just fun just to talk. We haven't talked in a while. But my 8 o'clock, I'm not angry about it. Is it miffed? Is that the word to use? Like, I'm confused.
What?
I am confusion when it comes to this. And if the 8 o'clock is brought to you by Green Acres Sporting Goods, make sure you go to Green Acres. Check them out. They got this AR-15, $499. If you go in there, you have to mention something from the show. You have to go in there and tell them, not just tell them the SportsDen sent you, but tell them like, man, James had me laughing about this, or these guys brought this up. Go see Z and those guys. Not just for that. You go in for the AR-15, but home defense is important in this year. With as crazy as things are going, go get your concealed carry license. $49 for the class. They have a class every day at noon. They also will walk you through home safety. I believe every American should own a pistol and a pump shotgun, and that comes from Z. And I've shot those things. They're very easy to shoot. Anybody can shoot them. Go get the 9mm. Don't let these places talk you into getting guns that you can't shoot, or they're going to kick back. Because one thing I learned in the class, very informative, is that you're responsible for wherever that bullet goes. And Z and those guys at Green Acres are going to give you the best bang for your buck, and they're not going to guide you wrong. Again, now I transitioned to my hate o'clock, which is kind of terrifying because I just talked about a gun company, but that's just who sponsors it. And speaking of transitions, transgenders in sports. There's only one community that I fear of cancellation, and that's the consonants. Like I don't want to I'm terrified of them. Like not like as people, but just y'all get people out the paint really, really quick, man. Like so. I am going to tell you that you have an ally in me. I am for you living your life. I believe everybody has the right to be miserable, just as miserable or happy as any American. Get married. Actually, I believe that helps because they show that you guys get divorced just as frequently as heterosexuals. So either way, because marriage is nothing more than finding somebody that you choose and want to spend the rest of your life with, and you believe in them so much that you want to pay the U.S. government money to prove that you're going to stick together. So much so that you're going to pay the U.S. government money when you guys decide to split. So if you want to do that, great. It's taxable. It just means more money. I also appreciate you guys because you've actually made marriage obsolete and antiquated. I can literally have a lifetime girlfriend and be a life partner and get on your insurance, your life insurance, your health insurance. And that's because of the things that you guys fought for. I appreciate you as Americans. Now, where I am confused a little bit at, and you can walk me through this. I have no problem having discussions, and I want to be educated on these things. I don't know what I don't know, but I do know this. The optics look really, really bad.
For real.
On this Leah, the transgender athlete at the University of Penn, which is an amazing school. She is now the women's national champion in, I believe, the 500 meter. Or 5,000, correct me on that. But bottom line, it's a lot of swimming.
5,000 meters.
Okay, 5,000.
Insane. Oh, have you seen a 5,000 meter?
I don't want to walk 5,000 meters.
Okay.
Like I don't want to walk 5,000 miles. I don't want to do any of that shit. So congratulations, you won that. I'll say this: you were ranked in the 400s in the men's last year, and now you're number one overall in women's. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the rights of all women if that's how you identify. What I am saying, though, is the optics look really, really bad. It just looks like you couldn't compete with the men, and then you shifted. Now, I will be more of a proponent if you go through with it. Like, what I mean by go through with it is that when I found out you still got the giblets,
okay,
I have an issue with that because. Like, if you're a woman and you identify as a woman and you dress as a woman, you do that, just go ahead and you want to compete, go ahead and have the surgery. Like,
what if that makes her faster?
Then God bless. God bless.
It
could. Because actually there are some studies that show that men who have castration tend to, the testosterone and things like that. But she's taking hormone replacements. And I'm trying to use the right pronouns. Please don't bash me. This is new to everybody. One of the things, and I grew up with my cousin Joey, was gay. And I said was, he died of AIDS. And I actually had my godbrother, his uncle, grew up with Tommen. Tommen was 6'5", about 275 with a size 16 pump. He was transsexual before it was cool. So I've actually grown, but I don't know the pronouns of my cousin, my godbrother Jarrell, who is his nephew, is also gay. And I love Jarrell. I'll whoop your ass over Jarrell. In fact, Jarrell was a cheerleader at Florida State while I played, and I had to check some people on it. Yes. But I will say, yeah,
we gotta get into that.
It was wild. Like see, this is what happened was Jarrell came in, and my mom was like, hey, so Jarrell's gonna be at Florida State, and I heard the guys talking about, man, look at this. They were talking derogatory. And I'm like, hey, man, who y'all talking about? And they pointed. I'm like, hey, man, y'all got to chill out. Because I also thought about it like this. Again, it doesn't bother me. I don't care what you are. I have a hard time managing one penis. I'm not managing other people's. And right now I got two boys who I have to guide and make sure that they know how to manage their penises. So I don't need to be worried about penises that don't affect me.
We should get like a Manscaped ad right here.
Right, like you're saying. The reality is this. Stop worrying about dicks that ain't yours. And you'll be great. Bars. But if I did not come out and tell people that this was my family, imagine me running out the tunnel And to my right, there is a cheerleader that is a male that is very excited to see me.
James, go James.
It's about being in front of it and just being like, yo, that's my family. I'll whoop your ass for my family.
Yeah.
I love Jarrell. Jarrell is dope. And his brother, like we grew up together. He's my sister's age. But I'm the competition aspect of it is here's what really bothers me. Now this is on the Olympic level, which people have to understand that there are, though it's an Olympic sport, there are differences. Now I think she was an 800-meter athlete from South Africa, tremendous athlete. True and true, when she came out, doctor said it's a girl, but has a lot more testosterone naturally than most of the women, and she could not compete on the Olympic level as a female because her testosterone levels that were natural prevented that because they test for that. But you're telling me that a biologically born male with the giblets can go participate as a female and it's okay. So that's really where
every
it becomes.
Every time you say giblets, Miles laughs so hard.
I'm trying to figure out how. I don't want to say dick, so I'm trying to say like. And
the
only reason I know this is because the girls who are competing were talking about how uncomfortable it was because you're in a female locker room and there's this dick here. Like typically the only time if we're being honest, the only time they see that is when in their locker room is when the girl who's a stud brings one in there.
All right. Okay.
So my thing is, that's the truth.
Listen. Bringing it in the locker room for.
I don't know.
Now I gotta watch my girls. She be going to the gym.
No.
All right. There's no studs in there now.
Miles' sister is gorgeous. That's the mother of my children. When we were dating, I'm telling you this here. When we were dating, we went to this bar that was around here, and there's a women's tackle football team here, and they look like the big ones look like me.
They'll tackle you.
And then some of the smaller ones, more petite ones, look like they could play on my son's Pop Warner team. The problem was that I was like, she said she went to the bathroom. I got nervous.
Yeah.
It's tough because you got to compete. You got to compete with men and them. Like some of these women, like I ain't gonna lie, they fine, and then you find out that they like women. You got like, damn, I don't know if she might be able to pull my girl.
Yeah, and now they got the rose, they got the other.
Listen,
come on.
Now. The reality is though, I do believe that who really gets the short end of this because again, she's taking Leah the champion is taking supplements or basically to not mask control her testosterone level. Mm-hmm. But you grew up. Let's say she's 22. I don't know the age, but you went for 21 years with free testosterone. The reason why I'm the build that I am now is because I had years of flowing testosterone. My body was able to develop. It developed biologically as a man. Men have more muscle mass. They have denser bones. There are things that are just biologically true. So basically, really, a man and a woman is a social construct. The things that you identify with, the things that you participate in. Now, there's a biological part, but you can call that whatever you want to call it. Like, call it something different if you want to. But there's nothing you can do about that. That's how we grow. Now, some of us men, we produce more testosterone, and that's why you have mutants. Like, that's why you have LeBron James, 38 years old, with his head above the fucking rim, dunking on people and doing the things that he does. So what I'm saying is that she grew up with the benefit of having this her whole life, and now she's masking it, but she still has more than the person who didn't have the benefit of growing up with this their whole life, and they can't take additional supplements. They don't get to take testosterone. They have to develop with what they have.
That's the whole dilemma.
And that's the dilemma that I have with it. I think you can't discriminate, but I think you have to find a way if you're going to identify as something, and that's what you are. And I have to watch it because, it could make the sport more interesting. I don't know, but I'm just thinking about this.
More people started talking about women's sports.
So, but think about it like this. It doesn't work the other way. And the problem is it's not a reciprocal action. Brittany Griner, who I know she's going through other stuff. Don't bring weed to foreign countries, guys. Got news for you. It ain't going to end well for you. Your ass could be in Costa Rica and you try to break something, they're going to detain you. You don't want to be in another country's prisons. It ain't.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck they're saying, and and it's probably not as clean as America. But Brittany Griner, who is an amazing basketball athlete, is not coming to the NBA and dominating the NBA.
Even though she said on camera that she would beat DeMarcus Cousins.
Right.
Oh my.
And it's just I think Clarissa Shields, phenomenal female boxer, heavyweight champ, cannot go toe-to-toe with prime Mike Tyson. It won't end well for her. Now, she's going to beat most of the women that she goes up against. And can she beat most men? I believe Clarissa can whoop my ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a boxer, though.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when you get to the elite levels, that's really where it starts to pan out. And I don't think, because to be an elite athlete, a certain amount of pride has to be in your body. So I don't believe, like, the 100-meter champ, I use my boy, no, I won't use him because I feel bad. Let's just say Walter Dix. Walter Dix played at Florida State. Ran track at Florida State. Bronze medal, went up against Usain Bolt. Ain't nobody, I know I'm not beating Usain Bolt, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean next year I'm going to go try to beat the Jamaican women.
All right, yeah, I see where you're going.
So, I mean, I think the longer, to people who are worried about this becoming a trend, I think it only really matters more so in the longer distance stuff. And actually, I think it kind of evens itself out a little bit more. But in the shorter sprints and the things that are more broad, that are more controlled, that are stronger bursts, I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not the same, and it's not fair right now.
But that's like anytime there's a problem though, like, you know, obviously the solution is always like you got to let it go and then you course correct.
Right.
Yeah.
People are going to always push boundaries, especially with something like this, as new as it is. It was bound to happen eventually. You know, like whatever's next might be the story that be like.
And I'm sorry, I may
course
just
correction has to start now.
I'm willing to admit, I think I'm a good dad, but I'm not. Well, for a lot of reasons, I'm not Heathcliff Huxtable. I've never drugged a woman anyway, but I'm not I'm not him. I'm not Carl Winslow. I'm not these guys. Even though sometimes when I'm having moments with my son, I hear that TGIF music that goes on in the background. I tell my sons a lot of things that might be incorrect, but they're correct for how I'm going to raise them.
Yeah.
For a Coleman.
So, all right.
My son only owes me one thing. And that it really is, it's the only one that I gave my name. The only thing he owes me is a grandson named James Coleman. That's it.
I thought you were going to say effort or something.
Nah,
listen, don't put me in a nursing home.
No. After a certain point, I have given you all the game. Really, I've taught my 8-year-old damn near everything I can teach him. Once you learn how to wipe your ass, it's that's one of the most important things you can learn as a man. Is how to wipe your ass properly. You'll be surprised at how many people are walking around without proper ass wiping techniques.
Listen, wipe your ass.
But now at 18, he doesn't have to get out of my house. But really, at that point, you are an adult. You gotta go. But so if he wants to be like gay or whatever, I might be weird. I have questions because I don't know how this shit works, and I'm going to tell him. Now the killer, now listen. The other part of it, too, is for you people who are, freaked out by these TV shows, watch this shit with your kids. Stop being freaked out. It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
I know, not without a shadow of a doubt, I think I'm okay. I've seen my sons interact with women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're good. The younger one, he's too aggressive. The older one is smooth as fuck. But what I'm saying is if that happens, then shit, I'm not finna be like, I ain't Boosie. But I am going to tell him, again, Trey, I don't give a fuck what you do. You better find something and get me a James Anthony Coleman IV.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Just I like that. It's a pretty good trade. He gets all the Jordans he wants. He gets free room and board. Whatever he wants to do, just give me a son. Then do whatever you want to do after that. Now, I say all that to say is that I am probably the worst when it comes to not putting expectations on the kids with sports. I expect them to do his best. I don't need him to play in the league. He ain't got to buy his mama a fucking house. He ain't in the fucking projects. He ain't this. All he really needs to do is be smart, and the world's set up for him.
I think that might help them in the long run.
Which the crazy thing is, I watch him play and I get mad because he's playing for the fucking love of it.
Yeah.
I was out that bitch. I'm out here hitting motherfuckers to get out the hood. Like, I don't want to be in. Like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm out here. The reason why I got fast is because I'm sprinting, trying not to get shot. Like, he don't got to worry about it. He can just be fast and flourish. But I'll say this: I'll be damned if he runs an 11.6 in high school and he's getting his ass whooped in 100, and then all of a sudden he comes and says his name is Jamie, and he wants to go fucking run in the. No, bitch, you ain't participating.
Yeah, no.
You couldn't, because again, as a dad who's been there, that has nothing to do with your self-esteem as much. Like, all the other things, feel free, but like, we're not going to get our ass handed to us on one side, and then again, it might be more to it, but I will say the optics just, don't look as great.
It's complicated on all sides because by Sports Illustrated sources said that estimate 37 total members of the squad, only 6 to 8 were adamant supporters of the senior star who competed on the men's team for her first 3 years of college. About half of the team, author Robert Sanchez writes, opposes her competing against other women, while the remaining remain silent.
And to be honest with you, what do you say?
Yeah.
Because one of the things, and here's where I am miffed. It doesn't affect me because I have, right now, the only two that I got to worry about right now are boys. My daughter didn't play sports, so it didn't affect her. I don't see a woman transitioning over to play football. Try that shit if you want to.
Yeah.
Because my boys will be taught to treat her like a motherfucker. It don't matter. She can identify as a female. You step on that football field, we kill everything walking. So that's just how we play. It's only one way to play the game. Mm-hmm. Now, as women have made every time a man says anything about this, about being homophobic.
Yeah.
And women have really been the LGBT movement and the feminism movement have been walking hand in hand the last few years. And I used to tell people, I was like, one of the things, what's going to happen is there's going to be some things where it's going to be, you're going to have to question it. So like, even one of the ladies who was at the podium, she was speaking for it at one point, but now you're mad about it when you lose. And I'm just like, you got to be one way. Like there are complications in it, but this is one of the things that comes with this.
The world you open up.
Yeah, it's the world you open up. Mm-hmm. And to me, I am not going to lose sleep over it because I can't swim. And I don't see it.
I cannot drown, but I don't know if I would call it swimming.
And I'm not homophobic because I may or may not have had teammates that probably were switch hitters.
Yeah.
And you know what I cared about?
Winning the game.
Winning the game. Can a motherfucker sack a quarterback? Yeah. Can they catch a pass? Can they do the things that are like, I don't care how.
Take that sack when it's time. Get that quarterback.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care if they're sleeping with 100 women. I don't want to hear that shit either. Yeah. I don't want to know about that part of your life. I just want to know if you're a good person, and if you're a good person outside of that. But really, when we're in the locker room and on the practice field, bitch, are you doing your job? Yeah. Like, if you're doing your job, and that's how I operate in life. And I think a lot of people, if you operate it that way, you'll be okay. But I am going to say this, and it's tough to say that, is like, fight for what you feel is your rights. But playing on an elite level is, especially when it's a merit-based sport, a numbers-based sport, it's either you can do it or you can't. And obviously, she could do it. And, if people's daughters got replaced, then, hey, I don't know what to do. But then I heard somebody say, maybe we should have a trans Olympics. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? Because there's so many varieties, there's so many questions, there's so many things I just don't know that I don't even think that solves it. Because obviously you would have to have a trans woman and a trans men thing, but like, now are you separating that? Who has the giblets? Who has the additions? Who has this? It's like a lot of things that go into something for something that affects 10% of our population. So it's a significant amount of our population. But again, just here's the reality. For everybody who's making this into a super, super complicated think piece, even though it may have grown, but let's say it's 15% of the population, right? Elite athletes of that caliber you're talking about 2% of the population, if that. So 15%, 2%, and then if you're going to the Olympics, you're the 1% of the 2% of the 15%. So like we're talking about like that. I hate to be the person that directed to you. Your daughter wasn't going to get affected anyway because your kid's not good enough. So however you feel about Leah, and I feel bad for especially the Texas girl because her face said it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Texas girl, but
she was hurt.
The reality is your daughter's not the Texas girl, and or your kid's not. That's not going to happen. So.
Honestly, I don't know. I got to see what kind of girl that Texas girl was before I feel bad. Maybe she's a horrible person.
I don't care about that part. Like in the competition and stuff, yeah. Maybe karma did happen, but I don't know. But like the thing is, the reality of all of it is that, you know, and again, brought to you by Green Acres. Go get the AR-15. Tell them SportsDen the big game sent you. I just kind of just watch your tone and stuff, and a lot of this stuff we really don't know. And we're going to all be learning as we get into the situation.
A lot of the stuff. It's okay to say you don't know.
Yeah, like I think everybody wants to have these strong takes that I say. What I don't want to be, right, is I have my opinions. I also don't care enough because it doesn't affect me, and I don't want anybody to be miserable. But like I don't want to look back at 30 years and have to look at some of my comments that I don't care about make me look like a true asshole. Like I think about so again, history major, sports exercise science is what I did for most of my career. Like there are books that literally are published that say black people have an extra bone in their foot. Like there are studies that say that black people are naturally inferior to others. Like from an intelligence and an emotional standpoint, there are things that like right now looks absolutely fucking stupid.
Yeah,
there are people whose Mima and Papa were in pictures of black men being hung on trees after Sundays. Like I don't want to have that happen to me. Now I'm not suggesting that these are on the same ends of the spectrum because by all means they're not. There is discrimination that happens, but like. I don't have to know what your sexual preference is. I can't hide. Like I can't be like the coach for the Dolphins. I can't like you look at me and you like
racially ambiguous.
Like, yeah,
it looks like you can be all the races.
Right,
It looks like you can be all of the races.
Like you look at me and be like, yeah, he's the only thing you say he's mixed with something, but we know he's colored.
He has
like we know that we know for a fact. Like more people want to know if I'm Hispanic or Jamaican or anything else, but they're not saying like but I'm still Afro with it. Yeah. I just don't. I think that's the thing that a lot of people got to check because do you care enough about? Because people talk about woke movement, cancel culture, all that bullshit. But like right now, do you care enough for 30 years for you to have to answer for some of this shit? And that's the thing is, a lot of you wouldn't have to answer for a lot of shit you said in your past if you just shut the fuck up about stuff you don't really care about. And I don't care enough about swimming. To be honest with you. Yeah,
we can get off that. Last swimming question I have. There's a story that broke in Miami. Are you talking about swimming? There was a lady had fell overboard, I guess, on a cruise or something.
Yep.
And her husband jumped in after her.
That's stupid.
Wait, so off the rip, you think that's...
He's a simp.
Yeah. Well, the propellers apparently got that guy.
That's what I said.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
All they did was throw the life or raft out to that lady, but he jumped in immediately after her, panicking.
Right.
Trying to swim to save her.
Right.
He got clapped.
So, again, I'm not... one, it's unfortunate.
Yes.
But...
That's unfortunate.
They already tell you this stuff. Like, I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise ship before.
I haven't yet.
Nah, it's high. One, the impact on the... You're probably dead if you go overboard. Like, it's really, really... Especially if you're on the top. It's really, really high. The boats at night are fucking flying. So if you think about it, there's basically almost like a rip current. So like the boat's going this way, you're going to shift, and that's probably what happened to the husband.
Yeah,
he hit it. The current brought him to the propellers, and that's what chopped him up.
You're not jumping in after a lady falling over.
Not at all. Now what I will do is I will make sure that the world knows And we go and the people who are fucking trained to do this go and save the person.
What about you, Miles? Would you jump in for a lady?
Not off a boat. Hearing this now, like I can swim. I feel like I would need to, but not off a boat now. I would.
Yeah, not off, because again,
it was a bunch of ladies on saying, if my man don't jump after me, I'ma leave. Like, when I get back,
you're gonna be dead anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's like you left. Like right now, he's dead.
Yeah.
And so now you have to think, if my dumb ass wasn't drunk or whatever it was that fell that caused me to fall, then I would have been good. Like I don't, because of I can't swim. I've been on cruises before. You know where I don't go?
What?
To the edge of the fucking boat.
Yeah.
Because who knows what can happen? I can slip, strong wind can hit me, somebody can bump me. I don't know. I think of like the bad shit that can happen, and you know what? I stay in the middle.
You getting picked up by a strong wind
is
the funniest thing. There better be a tornado.
Like, you don't know what I really, to be honest with you, cruises are overrated anyway. You're when you go to a place, you're there for like 3 hours, and you're never there doing like the good time. Like when I went to Cancun, we went to Cozumel, we had to be back on a boat by 5 p.m. No shit happened good anywhere like that's fun before 5 p.m. I'm just going shopping. I could have just flew for the amount of money I paid. I could have just flew to Cozumel and enjoyed myself for a couple of days.
And people full of cap. Ain't nobody jumping in to say that guy is a random guy. Like
that was a random guy.
It was just a story that I saw.
No, I mean like no, he's a special person because
he's a t-shirt. He's merchant.
All right. Oh my god.
No, I'm saying right now the only thing he is some merch.
Chum.
It's some merch and when you eat shrimp, you eat him.
And like we were talking about earlier with Mary, his girlfriend will probably she gonna
go. She's gonna go smash somebody else out of grief.
Yeah.
And now what do you have to show for it? Nothing. Your mom lost a son. If you got kids, now here's what I will do.
Not her, but
now here's what I will do. Now, like if you're talking about like a lion exhibit or something like that, like now if my kids go on something like that, I may. But I'm gonna yell no, because I'm gonna do I'm gonna do this.
Speaking the truth.
I'm gonna do this because this is what would have happened to me.
Okay.
If I would have found myself like these idiot, paler people that consistently get into these situations. My mother would be like, if you don't get your dumb ass over that fence, back over this fence real quick, I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm more afraid of the woman than I am of the animal. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to probably do that, but I'm also going to warn my kids, and listen, now, I'll have another one of you.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Like,
all right.
You can't, my mother can't have another one of me. Mm-hmm. She's too old. The womb is gone. I can have another kid. But the point is like, why do people keep getting them, like, I've seen Titanic. I've seen these things that happen. Like, it doesn't work. And women, again, are selfish. Even in Titanic, all she had to do was scoot her ass over so that the boy can get out of the bitter freezing cold. And I'm going to tell you, too, another simp thing. Do you know that those people who went down with the ship, people don't even realize they rented those uniforms. There were people who got sued by the uniform company, their families, because they didn't return the goddamn uniform. They're dead. Wow. All you people who feel like you're ultra patriotic, you're ultra chivalrous, you're ultra this, I got news for you. The only thing that happens at the end is pain, misery for the people that are surviving, that loves you, and you'll be on a t-shirt. If you're lucky, they'll make a mural for you. But they only doing that for Nipsey, Kobe, and Tupac. They don't do that for other people. You got to be really, really good at something. If you're just a random ass person that plays a trumpet, or you're it's not gonna work. It's not gonna end well for you, dog. That's why I tell people, I'm making it say like this. I don't even think I'm that good. When I die, I don't want a funeral. I don't want that shit. I don't want people fake crying for me, talking about they're gone. Make a Facebook post, or I was here. As a matter of fact, I posted on Tuesday. I'm gone on Wednesday, bitch. If you find out, damn, what happened to James? He ain't posting. Oh yeah, James died. That's how you gonna find out. Because I don't need y'all coming over. I don't need no haters at my funeral posting pictures. I don't need people trying to make sure I'm gone.
I don't need a suit flyer than you.
Right.
No, you're right. I know your suit gonna be fly. You gonna be fly.
I ain't got time for that shit.
That water is a different animal.
But like but yeah, ain't no saving. I'm sorry. Like, you can get a new woman. It sounds cruel, right? But like,
it's not.
It's not. Like,
women not jump into water to get their kids during swim lessons or stuff like that while teaching. And they will run and get help well before they ever think of getting in the water.
Who's going to tell the story? If we both did, right? So think about this right here.
I saw this podcast.
She fell in the water. He jumped in and became chump. He could have easily just went. What if nobody else was up there and didn't hear the splash or didn't do anything else? Now you got one lady in there. Now she's freezing, getting stung the fuck up by jellyfish, and a shark nibbling, waiting for the shit to go bad. And you got a dude that's bleeding out.
Yeah.
Where he could have just ran and got the captain or got somebody, and they could have like saved the life. So, but that's enough for the show, man. We haven't done anything. We'll be back on Friday with some more topics. Make sure you hit @SportsDen_live if there are any things that are happening. I want to do an MFTK of the week. So if you got your MFTKs, if you don't know what MFTK stands for and you're new, that's Man Fuck Them Kids of the Week. And it's also Mentors for the Kids Foundation. But I need stuff that literally can be our candidates. We want 4 stories that we can all vote for MFTK of the week. Any news topics or any other random situations. And if you need to be saved from simpitude, make sure you hit us up so we can make sure. Because I want men and women to be successful in life. I want you to have joy, but I also don't want you like stressed out about to kill yourself because you believe in these R&B songs. And happily ever after is you can be happy. It's the ever after part. That's a lot. It's a temporary feeling. It's fleeting. Make sure you check out Green Acre Sporting Goods. Make sure you come here at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. We're going to do these recordings here. We're going to have a live show. We want people to come and participate. And bigger than that, make sure you go check us out on the YouTube, The SportsDen, SportsDenLive.com, all the social medias. We're going to chop this stuff up. We got some really good content coming out. I know we've been promising y'all this shit since January, but we're about to have some action with this now. So y'all have a great, great rest of your week. Hump day, go hump somebody on hump day. Women, it's Wagon Wednesday. Show your ass to somebody.
Amen.
And head is good.
All the time.